All right. Welcome everybody to the first class of longevity. Now, this is a special series. It's an activated asana practice, however. So we're using all of my methodology and the basic guiding principles that I'll sort of weave in throughout the next 8 weeks, so you'll come to know that. And I'm not, going to have you drinking from a fire hose. We're going to take this one step at a time. And there's sort of a different focus for each week. So we have 8 weeks, and every week we'll have a different focus, but it is all about things that enhance longevity. And for me, the term longevity means that you have more availability to life. You literally have more life in your body, and you're able to express yourself through movement and physicality and whatever rises up inside you to express, as your life purpose or whatever brings you joy or whatever that is. We don't want to slowly let limitation creep into our life, and then we end up somewhere where we didn't expect to be, and this happens to a lot of people. We've probably all seen it happen to family members and friends, and, it's not necessary. So let me just talk to you about our theme for this week, and that is that movement matters, okay? And when we talk about movement, like I've been in movement for decades, and I would say that some movement is better than no movement. But certain types of movement are more nutritious than others. And there are ways you can move your body that lead to better outcomes than others. So what I want you guys to know is a way to view movement and a movement strategy and a way to sort of decide for yourself whether certain movements are good for you or not. This is not about closing down your options though. It's about widening your options. And there is a process in order to be able to do that. You can't sort of jump from here to there overnight. There's a process for building strength and resilience into your body. Okay, so I won't go through everything that's in this manual. This is already about 6 pages long, and this is only week 1 and 2. So you're probably going to have a 22-page manual at the end of this with all kinds of themes, information that we've been looking at over this 8-week series. You will have access to this document throughout, but I would recommend you don't print it off. At the end, I will turn it into a PDF, and then when you print it off, it'll be, it'll come out nicely. The pages in the right place and all of that, okay? So I would recommend you wait. I mean, you can do whatever you like. You can print it off whenever you want, but I just want you to know that I will make it more print perfect at the end. And I also want you guys in the room to know that we have a couple dozen people joining us from all over the world. So we have people in Australia, all over the US, in Germany, Switzerland, UK, Russia. I mean, it's so exciting. So, let's all from our hearts welcome them as well. And I know we're not all practicing simultaneously, but we're all entering this journey together for 8 weeks. And so we're going to share some energy around that. So yeah, this is about how much life you actually have access to, and what are some of the steps we can take right now. And for many of us, the idea of aging is still a long way off, but now is the time to start, building a body that's going to last a lifetime. Okay, and so I've got some information in here for you just about how movement is going to stimulate your brain. It stimulates the chemistry of your body. It moves the electricity in your body, because healing and adaptation is really about electron flow. What we eat is about electron flow. Grounding is about electron flow. Breathing is really about electron flow. So movement is very, very important. You'll see that as we go through our practice, what we're constantly doing is tensioning the fascia through muscle contraction, and you will get better electron flow through your body when you do that. So this is kind of a profound thing that's happening. And that is your birthright. A healthy, vital body. Your body was not designed to break down. I think this is a very important concept for us all to understand. Our body was designed to heal and adapt. I'm going to go into that in a lot of detail next week. But knowing that right from the outset, I think, is really important, because we've kind of been told that the body's going to break down, you're getting old, all this stuff. Your body is designed to heal and adapt given the proper resources and the proper life force energy and the proper mindset. So it will continue to heal and adapt until it runs out of resources and life force energy. So this is why it's so important, like what we're thinking about and how we move our body. Okay? So now the way we're going to do that is by learning this methodology called organization and activation. We'll be doing some pretty basic postures today. We're focusing on developing our movement strategy and capability, and then we'll make that habitual over time so we don't have to think about it so much. We're going to do a lot of thinking today and a lot of activating today. It's going to feel pretty intense probably, but it's not going to be like super end range stuff or like legs behind the head or splits or things like that. It's not going to be intense in that way. It'll be intense in focus and activation. Okay? You guys ready to begin? Okay. I am throwing out a challenge for you this week. Do you know what? Have you looked at the self-assessment little document that I made? Okay. You will check out the link today. I'll make sure everybody's got it. There's 8 health indicators on here. And I would recommend that you start seeing where you're at with these health indicators, okay? The first one I'm kind of focusing on today is, can you climb 4 flights of stairs in less than a minute? And a flight of stairs is, about 16 steps, I think. And then, whatever the landing is, and then, so you go up a flight of stairs, go to the next flight, okay? 4 flights of stairs in less than a minute. The faster you can do that, the harder you are to kill, okay? And by anything like heart disease, cancer, anything. It'll be hard for anything to kill you, just saying. So yeah, worth finding out. I think knowing some of these things that you're capable of will give you a lot of confidence. And confidence is what keeps your movement options open and keeps your life choices open. Okay, so let's begin by closing down our eyes and withdrawing to our inner space. So as you sit with eyes closed, and hopefully seated comfortably, like sit on a block or sit on a cushion or whatever you need so your body doesn't distract you, because you want to go in and feel some things, okay? You want to feel the bowl of your pelvis sitting upright. You want to feel that you're intentionally lifting up through your heart and through the crown of your head. And then see if you can sort of bring your thorax, your shoulders over your hips. So it feels like there's a lightness there and you feel, balanced. So there isn't a lot of effort to hold you in this position. Crown of the head is lifting. And just as you take a few deep breaths and start to pull your attention deeper into your body and into your sensory experience inside your body, what you can feel, allow the idea to enter that your body is always answering the call, okay? It's always going to respond to the requests you make. And that is because your body is your ultimate servant. Your brain, your conscious awareness, needs to love the body. If your conscious awareness is unhappy with the body or feels that part of the body is bad, then that affects your body, and your body cannot argue with those conscious thoughts. The conscious thoughts are too powerful. So already we need to make sure that we are loving our body and all the things that it does for us right from the outset, so that the body is then free to answer the call. You can allow whatever else might be your intention to be here today and practice, come into your awareness. And then we're going to take the mantra Om one time. So you might want to have your hands in front of heart center in Namaskara mudra. And if you like, you can join me in one Om. So we'll take a nice deep breath in through the nose, sigh it out your mouth, inhale, Smile to yourself. Allow your eyes to fall open. And let's bring our hands to the mat. Okay, I want you to come into table pose. So hands will be organized under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and you can just have your toes pointed back for now. Now, as you press down into your hands, you're going to make sure that your finger pads are spread apart. And then from your finger pads, through the palm of your hand across your wrist, you're going to energize your hands and arms as though you're trying to dial your hands away from each other. So it's though you're trying to spin those hands outward. Of course, they're not going to move anywhere because they're on the mat. So let's just turn that off and on a few times. And just notice where that energy goes, okay? From the tips of your fingers, across the palm, across the wrist, through the arms, onto the shoulders. Yeah, and onto those muscles that stabilize your shoulder blades on the core of the body, okay? Off on a few times. Once you're solid with that, then just turn it on enough to maintain your position. And then we'll do something with the legs. So you're gonna press down into the top surfaces of your feet enough till you feel there's a little response in your belly. So you should feel the belly quicken a little bit. So now between your hands and your feet pressing down, you should feel a convergence of energy behind the navel in front of the spine. Okay, so we have on, on. If you turn that off, you'll notice, okay, yeah, my pelvis wants to dip down, my low back wants to curve. Press into your palms, dial out. That activates your upper body. Press into the feet, and that activates your belly. Okay, so keep that happening. We're organizing and activating. And now I want you to just press down into the top surface of your left foot and take your right foot back. And you're gonna spin your whole right leg inward and down. Lean into your right hand a little bit and then take your left hand forward, thumb side up. Good, now just keep your right hand dialing out. Keep your left foot pressing down. That's going to help activate your belly so it doesn't fall down. And then with the arm and leg lifted, you're going to connect the back of your left shoulder to the back of your right hip. And then reach through the fingers of your left hand, through the toes of your right foot. Take a really deep breath here. Inhale. And then exhale, take everything under the body, knee and elbow. And then inhale, reach it out. Exhale, tuck it under. Now, can you keep your body organized and activated while you do that? Okay, so awareness is going to grow, keeping aware of your hand, foot, and hand, your floor, foot and hand, and your raised arm and leg. This time when we take it out, we're going to hold it right there. Take a nice deep breath, and then bring your left hand down, bring your right knee down, and take a nice deep breath. Okay, organize and activate through your hands. Dial it out and then press down into the top surface of your right foot. Take your left leg back, spin the whole leg inward and down. And then press your right hand forward, thumb side up. You're pressing into your left hand and dialing out. You're pressing into your right foot to activate into the belly, foot to core. And just hold it for a little moment and just feel, stay steady. You're connecting the back of your right shoulder to the back of your left hip. Reaching through fingers of right hand, through toes of left foot. Then take a big inhale here and exhale, come under the body, tucking. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, tuck under. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, tuck under. Make sure hand and foot are active. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, tuck. Good, we're gonna hold this one. Hold right here. Hand and foot reaching out. Very nice. Hand comes down, knee comes down, tuck the toes, press your hips back. Walk your hands forward a little bit more. Once again, we're pressing into the finger pads and dialing out. Feel as though you can really get that into your shoulders, around the shoulder blades. Really good. Now push into the toes and then send your heart out over your hands. You're going to kind of challenge your wrist position a little bit here. Good. And then press back. Push hands forward. Inhale, come forward. Heart reaching forward. And then hips moving back. This is all active, so we're pushing into the toes the whole time. You will find that this gives you lots of control through the legs into the core. Again, inhale, come forward. This time when we go back, hips go back, we send the body up. Hips go up. Into downward facing dog. Now, if you have shoulder issues, I want to invite you to put your hands on blocks for downward facing dog to unload the shoulders slightly. Okay, shoulders are at least hip, shoulder width apart. Dial into the hands. Push the hands forward on the mat. Push your hands forward. This will activate the muscles that maintain your shoulder function. One more deep breath here. Take a big inhale and an exhale. And then we're going to shift forward as we inhale. Now use your toes. Press into your toes. Shift forward to upper push-up. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. This is giving you a chance to practice dialing your hands away from each other. Pull your hands back and then push them forward as you come to downward facing dog. The whole time you're pressing into your toes to keep your belly active. You know, the front of the core are phasic muscles. So you need to ask them to turn on. They're not going to get off the couch unless you ask. Okay, press it back. Interestingly, the more you push into your toes, the more you can activate the front of your core. That's interesting. Now let's shift forward to upper push-up position. Bring your knees down, keep reaching your heart forward, and then we're going to slowly bend the elbows. You can untuck the toes, don't go all the way down, and then press back up. So try to go about halfway down. Dial the hands away from each other, looking forward, yes, and coming up. So remember, your body's going to follow your gaze, so looking forward and press up. Good, one more time. Keep the belly lifted and press up. Now we'll tuck the toes, hips go back, downward facing dog. Shifting forward, upper push-up. Knees come down, look forward, heart reaches forward, dial the hands away from each other. Press up, cobra. Press back, downward facing dog. One more time. Upper push-up, inhale. Look forward, knees come down, heart reaches forward, forward, forward. Dial the hands away from each other, pressing up. And then tuck toes, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Feet about hip width apart. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale up to half lift. And exhale, fold. I consider this a very key exercise. Asana. Next time you come up to half lift, I want you to hold it there. Okay, so let's feel into half lift. Great toes are grounding. There's a slight bend at the knees, and you're dialing the knees away from each other. Okay, so this is really key. We're not hugging the knees together. We're dialing them away from each other. And then we think about what's happening in the pelvis. If you press down into your feet a lot, you'll get more of a response in the belly. Reach back with your tail. Heart reaches forward. Chin is slightly tucked. Crown of the head reaches forward. And then we're going to draw the shoulder blades toward each other. So those muscles between the shoulder blades are the rhomboids. They're lazy. Those are also phasic muscles. So we have to ask them specifically to turn on. So once you have those shoulder blades drawing toward each other, we'll sweep the arms up and then press into the back of the hands. Now, if you start to fatigue, feel free to bend the knees more and just rest down in a relaxed forward fold. But if you're okay, keep going with this. Thumbs toward the front of the room. Thumbs toward the front of the room. Even move your hands toward the front of the room slightly. Squeeze between your shoulder blades. Keep intending your heart forward. Chin is slightly tucked and you're reaching through the crown of the head and you're pushing into the feet more and you're connecting your upper body to your lower body behind the navel in front of the spine. And exhale, fold. Let the knees bend as much as you need. Arms can wrap around the back of the knees, fingers around the elbows perhaps, or you could just have hands to the outer aspect of the knees. So what we'll do here is press down into the great toes and really strongly dial the knees into your upper arms or into your hands if you're holding there. Okay, so you want to feel that press of the outer knee into the upper arm. Notice if you can feel there, it changes the pathway of tension through the back of your legs to more of a lateral tensioning. Okay, so that preserves the top of the hamstring so it's not under duress in forward fold so much. Okay, we're gonna let the arms relax and we'll roll ourselves up to full standing and take the shoulders back. Okay, so let's just do a quick exercise of organization and activation so we understand that method, okay? So we stand with our feet parallel, great toes grounding, knees a little unlocked, okay? Press down and then dial it away, dial the knees and feet away from each other as though you're trying to spread the feet apart, but they're not going to go anywhere because you're grounding them, okay? You're pressing down through the great toe. Knees dial away from each other. This should fire up your thighs and your seat, and you do want to have that. You'll also notice it activates the inseam of your legs to pelvic floor and lower belly. Okay, so let's hold it right there. Just take a nice deep breath. Notice how it affects your breath as well. Lifting through the heart, lifting through the crown of the head. Okay, so now we're gonna do some pranayama. Hands at shoulder height. We'll do something very important, which is toe standing. So we'll come up onto the forefoot and drop into our heel. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Up and down. Up and down. You can imagine you're throwing a basketball up. Up and down. Drop into the heel. It's fine if this is a little bit jarring. That's actually good for your body. In and out through the nose. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a big breath in. Stay up on your toes. Good. So now, can we still ground through the great toes, the rest of the toes, and still energize like we're dialing the feet and knees away from each other? So squeeze your butt. Again, you want to feel inseams of legs. Woo. Come up through pelvic floor, lower belly, through the heart, through the crown of your head. Take little breaks if you need and come back. You want to really work the feet like this because it preserves your toe function and your arch function and your ankle function. One more deep breath here. And then we'll take it down. We'll bring hands into heart center. Maintain your heels lifted, bend knees and hips, and come into a toe stand chair pose. Again, you can take breaks if you need, no problem. Push down into your feet, dial the knees away from each other. Reach back a little bit through your tail. Scoop through the belly, lift the heart, lift the crown. Beautiful, breathe. Wonderful, now we'll drop the heels, lift the toes, fall forward with knees bent. Just take a couple of breaths, you can wiggle out your toes. Bend knees in alternately, one then the other. All right, and then we'll come to stillness. Swing your arms back and then forward and all the way up. And exhale, hands will come to Namaskara Mudra. Beautiful. At the front of the mat, feet pretty close together. Ground and dial out, organize and activate. Inhale, arms to the sides and overhead. Exhale, let's come forward and down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or hop back to upper push-up position. Dial your hands away from each other. Look slightly forward. Bring knees down if you like. Dial the hands away from each other. Heart reaching forward, coming slowly down. Inhale, press up. Tuck toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. So once again in downward facing dog, the hands dial away from each other and we press them forward. Now stand on your left foot, right foot goes up. Inhale. Beautiful. Bend your right knee, open your right hip toward the right side of the room. Try to lift your right knee up and then reach the right foot back behind your body. And then we're going to rise onto the toes of our left foot and press down into the heel. Rise and fall. Now, I know some of you are dealing with wrist and shoulder issues. If you want to put your forearms on blocks at the front of the mat, that might make this a little more sustainable for you. You're welcome to do that. Working on the foot, though, with the body in this slightly awkward position, really good for you. Okay, let's take one more. Hold it up. You're onto the forefoot, and then we'll bring the right foot down. Let's bring the knees down. We'll come onto tented fingers. Toes are tucked. Hold it right here. Now, with your hands dialing away from each other, push your hands forward and pull your toes back as though you're trying to drag them to the back of the mat. So hands forward, feet back. Notice where you feel this in your body. And then we're going to let that go and start pulling the fingers toward the body and pulling the toes toward the knees and pull this into the belly. Breathe. Lovely. Let's plant the palms and take the body back up into downward facing dog. Now we'll stand on the right foot. Make sure you've set up your hands, of course. Stand on the right foot, lift your left leg up, bend the knee, and roll your hip open. Seeing if you can lift the left knee up and reach the left foot behind you. Then we'll rise and fall on the right foot, coming way up, working on the great toe pressing down and the arch of the foot lifting. Maintain your ankle range of motion and your foot to core connection here. Taking breaks as you need. It's all about feeling the body. Okay, let's rise up onto the forefoot. Reach the leg up behind you. And when you're ready, you can bring it down. Let's bring the knees down. Let's come back onto tented fingers. Tucking toes, coming onto tented fingers. And we're just going to take a couple breaths here, okay? Now, allow yourself to go inside and just feel. There'll be a kind of vibration happening inside the body. Just let yourself notice and feel. From the level of your conscious mind, you are making a request that you know your subconscious mind, which is your body, is perfectly able to respond to. However, you have to ask nicely. You have to ask in love. And you have to ask in faith. When you feel ready, plant your palms, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, just take a moment. When you're ready, looking forward, walking, stepping, or hopping to the front of the mat. Extend your spine as you arrive, like we practiced. Exhale, fold the body forward. Inhale, let's swing the arms back and then forward and all the way up. And exhale, hands will come to Namaskara Mudra. Can we just look at this thing that I just asked you to do? Swinging the hands back and then forward and up. Okay, so do this with me. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, you can take your arms to the side if you want and come down. That's usually pretty easy on the back. But if you have ever had back issues, bending your knees, swinging the arms back, and then forward and up, pushing through your legs, I call it the power up. It is a very kind way of coming up from a forward fold. It really takes the stress out of the lower back, puts it into the legs and the whole system, okay? So let's do it one more time. Arms to the sides and overhead. Exhale, come forward and down. We'll do a half lift here. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forward, swinging the arms back, and then all the way up as you inhale and exhale. Hands come to Namaskara Mudra. Beautiful. Let's have the feet about hip width apart. We're going to do another type of pranayama. Spread your arms open wide. Inhale, and then exhale, pumping the knees and hips, thumping the chest. In and out through the nose. Here I recommend keeping your fingers spread open wide so that your arm lines, your fascial lines, are able to support the elbow and it's not flailing about, okay? We need to be strong from fingers to shoulders here. Give your chest a good thump, in and out through the nose as you pump your knees. Remember, our knees are never going to collapse toward each other. We always keep them apart. Okay, let's bring it home with 1, 2, 3. Last one. Big breath here. And hold. Press down into your feet. Lift through the crown of your head. Drop the shoulders away from your ears. Bring the thumbs back. Let's dial it out. Thumbs are reaching back. Once again, we'll squeeze between the shoulder blades. Lifting the head high, lifting the heart high. Let your breath slow by just taking it deeper, wider. Closing down and just feeling strong in your body. Keep pressing down into the feet and dialing out. You can squeeze your butt here. We're letting ourselves experience a little bit of fatigue and discomfort. It's going to build mental resilience and tissue resilience. Inhale, raise the arms up. Beautiful, and bring it back to Namaskara Mudra. Beautiful, feet together at the front of the mat. Surya Namaskara asana. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive your body forward and down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Walk or step or hop back to upper push-up position. Dial your hands away from each other. Choose to bring knees down if you like. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Stand on your left foot. Raise your right foot up. Look forward and step your right foot through. Bring your back knee down and hands to thighs. Okay, so now your front foot, great toe grounds, knee dials out, so we never let this happen. Press the knee out. This will help us automatically tuck the hip back, and then we're going to push straight back into the toes of the left foot. Okay, and as you push back into the toes, you're probably going to feel your glutes over here become active. And now I want to ask you to make them more active. So intentionally squeeze them because they're also phasic muscles. They're going to be lazy. So press down, press back, and then if you want, you can straighten the knee and bring the knee off the ground. Keep pushing back into the toes and squeeze your seat. Beautiful. You'll feel the inseam of this back leg firing up. And that will come into pelvic floor and lower belly. And then if you like, arms can come up. Now here I would recommend bringing hands together in a steeple and energizing like you're pulling your hands apart. Beautiful. If that doesn't feel good in your shoulders, feel free to bend the elbows, but you can still pull your fingers apart. Beautiful. Now, just stay within yourself, feel. So just making sure your back leg is not turning out a little bit. You want to make sure it's straight. You're pushing straight back into the great toe. The great toe is hugely important for longevity. Okay, let's just take one more breath. Hands to the mat. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Set up your hands, dial them away from each other, stand on right foot. Left foot goes up. Looking forward, step the foot between your hands. Bring your back knee down, hands to thighs. Great toe grounding, knee dialing out. This is organization and activation. Sending your hip back. Now start to push into the toes of your right foot. When you do that, you'll feel the leg turns on. Maybe your glutes turn on. If you want more of that, you're going to push back into your toes to lift. And then I want you to intentionally squeeze the glutes. When you feel satisfied with that, hands can come up. You can steeple the fingers or have the elbows bent, whatever you want to do with that. Now let's make sure we're down in our posture. We want to challenge. You see, we're not going to challenge our depth. We're going to challenge our stability because the longer you stay here, you're going to start to be challenged in your stability. So we're going to keep activating so our stability stays good. Keep pulling the hands apart. Squeeze your seat. Can you breathe smooth? Ujjayi breathing. Keep your gaze slightly lifted. Lovely. Hands to the mat. Step back to upper push-up position. Dial the hands away from each other. You can choose to bring knees down first if you like as you move through Chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we're going to remain in downward facing dog for a few breaths. Please choose a different posture if you need a little bit more restoration right now, okay? Really honor your body where it's at. So here is the ultimate secret in making progress in your practice, and that is to be so tuned to your body that you know when, okay, right now is the right time for a little bit of a break. You will often come back so much stronger than you realize just from a little tiny break, and I just mean several breaths. Whereas if you keep pushing through, the fatigue will just sort of pile up on you. So just know and make sure you're restoring your breath. Cycle back to that. We always have to include how is my breath doing in our awareness, okay? Looking really good though, you guys. Let's look forward. Walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. As you arrive, take half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swing the arms back and then forward and up. And then exhale, hands come back to Namaskara mudra. Beautiful. Let's do some more pranayama. So I like to include a lot of vigorous pranayama because it really challenges our heart rate and our oxygen consumption goes way up. So let's have feet about hip width apart. Inhale, exhale into chair breathing. Yep, you can go as low or as high as you want. If this is new to you, please experiment and see what works for you. Four, three, two, and one. Let's hold. Hold into chair pose. Very key posture. Now, right away, notice if your shoulders are getting drawn up around your ears. Can we drop those down? Okay. Great toes are grounding here. Knees are dialing out. Reaching your tail back. Scoop the belly, lift the heart. Shoulders down. Yes. Beautiful. Now, once again, we want to allow ourselves to approach that edge where we're a little bit of fatigue. Is that fatigue or is that discomfort? It can be hard to tell. If it's feeling anything in your joints, no, that should not be where you feel this. You should feel it on the sides of your legs, in your seat, maybe in your inseams, upper back maybe. All right, let's just take another breath and then swing your arms back. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, let it go. Ha. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now, if your body is okay with it, make it kind of bouncy. This is really good for your fascia. All right, we're gonna do one more full round. So come up, go down, and then we're gonna hold it up. Hold it up. Hands are gonna lace. Hands come to the back of the head. If your shoulders do not like this position, let your elbows come forward a little bit. You might find that more comfortable. So just experiment, see what feels good. Now, what we'd like to do here is keep the chin tucked a little bit. Press the back of your head into your hands and your hands into your head. Notice what that does to the rest of your body. So now let's feel into our feet. Knees are unlocked. We're dialing the feet and knees away from each other. Firing up the thighs and the seat and the inseams. Through pelvic floor, lower belly, lift the heart. Lift the crown, press the head into the back of the head. Breathe. Let's tilt the body toward the left side of the mat. Press down into your right foot. Reach up through your right elbow. Press your head into your hands and your hands into your head. And now become aware of pubic bone to breastbone. This is the shield of the body But again, it's phasic, so it's not going to just turn on automatically like your back muscles would. You need to ask it. So become aware, pubic bone to breastbone, and try to match the energy in the front body and the back body as you let your breath extend, really pressing out through the lower ribs in a typical Ujjayi breath pattern. All right, let's inhale and come up. Just feel center for a moment. Get organized and activated again, and we'll take it to the right side. Pushing down now into left foot as you dial out, reaching up into left elbow while you press your head into your hands and hands into your head. Then become aware of pubic bone to breastbone. You might notice that once you really sincerely activate that, then it pulls your pelvis into neutral. Otherwise, it might be natural for you to anteriorly tilt in a side bend like this, very common. So if you can activate between pubic bone and breastbone, you neutralize that tendency. All right, let's come up to center. Reach up with your arms. Gather back into your heart. I'm going to check my time. Lots of time. Good. Arms to the sides and overhead. Exhale, come forward and down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step or hop back, upper push-up position. Dial your hands away from each other. Maybe the knees are coming down, maybe they're not as you move through Chaturanga. Inhale, heart reaches forward and up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Standing on your left foot, inhale, right foot comes up. Look forward, step your right foot between your hands. Then allow the left foot to pivot and heel to drop down. Right hand can come to shin, ankle, foot, or if you want, you can use a block. We're peeling the body open into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Yeah, so if you're using a block, it could be inside or it could be outside, or you could just have your hand to your leg at some point. I don't recommend for your extreme depth in this posture because we're using our fascial lines to support this pose. So here's how we do it. Press into the toes. Great toe especially is grounding. Then try to spin your knees away from each other. Once you feel the energy in the legs coming into the pelvis and belly, then you can possibly draw your left shoulder back and maybe look up. Leaning into your back body slightly, okay? But once again, aware of pubic bone to breastbone. Remember, in this posture, your gaze is going to influence what the body does. So here's an example. If you're looking down your body, it'll pull you out of position. If you can bring your gaze so you're looking straight ahead or possibly up, you're going to bring the rest of your body into alignment. And this is not about really alignment. It's about a more optimal, efficient pattern that we want to reinforce in our body so we have better posture as we move around in our life. Wonderful, you guys. Okay, let's bend the right knee and tip the body up for Virabhadrasana, Warrior Two. Great toe grounds, knee dials out on your front leg. Same thing's going on in the back leg. The great toe grounds and the knee dials out so you're not locking into that left knee. Okay, then you can bring your arms to shoulder height. And now, can you press down into your feet until you feel gathering into the pelvis? Gather the legs into the pelvis here. Pubic bone to breastbone is expressing. Heart is lifted, crown is lifted. Breathe. Ujjayi breathing. Keep noticing what this front knee wants to do. It's naturally going to gravitate inward because there's very soft support on the inner aspect of the knee. All your really good support is on the outside of the knee. So you want to hug into that support. Now let's flip the right hand up and look up, lean back. Heart lifting, breath is steady. Beautiful. Right hand is going to come down, left hand is going to follow. We're going to kind of cartwheel into the mat, stepping to downward facing dog. Just take a breath here. Organize and activate through your hands, once again, through your feet as well. Stand on your right foot, left leg goes up. Look forward, step left foot through. Now pivot your right foot to land the right heel on the mat. Bringing your left hand to shin, ankle, foot, or if you like using a block, use that. Pivot your body open, facing the right side of your room or the mat. Remembering your body will follow your gaze. So if you're looking down your body, you're gonna pull yourself out of the best position. You wanna bring your gaze so it's straight ahead or upward perhaps. It could even be downward, but just making sure that you're getting your head over your shoulder and over your leg. Yes, you guys, really nice. Press into your feet, gather the energy up into the pelvis. Let it express through the trunk of the body. Beautiful. Now, we'll bend the left knee and start to tip your body up to Virabhadrasana 2. In Virabhadrasana 2, there is such a strong tendency for this knee to fall in. And a lot of people are wondering like, well, isn't the pelvis supposed to squarely face to the side? It's not. The pelvis is just going to be where it is according to what your hip sockets are able to do. What you want to do, though, is establish your foot to core connection from great toe through your knee dialing out and this hip tucking back. Great toe grounding, knee dialing out so you're not locking into your back knee. Arms come to shoulder height. Ujjayi breathing. Allow this posture to be an expression of this birthright that you have to move well and to restore and regain your body. Flip your hand up. Let's look up. And it's also kind of challenging, actually, to hold your entire body in your awareness as your gaze lifts out of the body and upward. So see if you can hold your body in your awareness as you take your deep breath, feeling into your front knee, always making sure you're always hugging it out. Steady your breath. Even a little gentle smile towards yourself. Beautiful. Now we're going to bring the hand down and cartwheel back into the mat. Stepping back to upper push-up position. Dial your hands away from each other. Press into the toes. Then if you want, you can bring your knees down or send your heart out over your hands for Chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, downward facing dog. So let just me say, while you guys are in downward facing dog, a word about Chaturanga. Chaturanga is a very, very intense pose that asks a lot of certain shoulder structures, etc. So I hope there's no need in you that you have to do full-on Chaturanga. Maybe full-on Chaturanga is in your future, but it's so important to respect where your tissue is at right now. We will build on that. It takes a little bit of time to build tissue. But if you try to jump ahead and you go into something like Chaturanga that your body's not ready for, then you might, injure the body before you can make it stronger. So that's not so efficient to work that way. So I just want to recommend you and I want to honor you for taking it at the place where you actually can master the position, okay? And we will get stronger from there, I promise you. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to look forward and walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. Extend your spine as you arrive. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. And exhale, hands come to Namaskara mudra. All right, let's do some standing balancing. Single leg standing balances are really key to longevity. So if you're a little bit unaccustomed, please stand where you can put a finger on the wall, no problem. But we don't even need blocks or straps or anything for this. Okay, so stand on your mat, or if you need, you can stand directly on the floor. That also sometimes helps with balancing. We're going to stand on the left foot first. And on our standing leg, let's just unweight the right foot slightly. ground through your great toe and dial out with this single leg standing, okay? Now, I'm gonna invite you to just let your arms hang, and then with your right foot, you're gonna reach it forward just like you're about to take a step. And this is the pose we're going into. I call this intense healing pose, and we're gonna do it in every single class. And what we're gonna do is work on staying in this pose for longer. So I will do my best to entertain you while we're here, waiting in this pose. But what I would like us to be able to do is eventually, and you can practice this at home too, is be able to do it and hold it for about 3 minutes, okay, with arms just hanging. So what you will find is that certain parts of your body will fatigue first, and that will just show you kind of the weak links in the chain that might need a bit more attention, especially during this adaptation phase. Okay, so while we're here, we're great toe grounding. It doesn't feel like you're dialing out, but that's where you're hugging. You don't want things collapsing to the center. Stay super tall on your standing hip. Keep lifted through the heart. And as you stay here and muscles start to fatigue, you're gonna notice, oh yeah, I've got to stand up straight or I won't be able to stay here. I will fall out of this pose. Okay, so just keep getting taller. Just keep getting taller. And this becomes quite a deep spiritual experience. It drives you deep into your body. So if you want to have a finger on the wall at first, no problem, because you're going to notice, yeah, you're going to get some burning for sure. It's going to be burning. Don't be scared of burning. Burning is just your body switching energy systems. It's totally fine. And what the effect of this will let me sell you now on this posture, because obviously you're going to develop some strength here. But ultimately, this is going to create stronger structures around your hip. So you will be much less prone to any kind of hip injury or instability. Maybe that's long enough on that foot for today. We'll go on the other one. Go home and practice. So great toe grounds, knee dials out. Okay, we'll just unweight. Get your weight on your right foot now. Make sure your knee is not locking, okay? That's not gonna help you. Stay tall on your right foot, and then you're just gonna reach your left foot forward. Now, what's this foot doing? Not too much. Just pull your toe towards your knee on your lifted leg, and make sure you're not trying to lift it up so it takes you out of your center. You just wanna, you'll see, well, you've probably already seen, it's already pretty challenging. So great toe grounds, knee dials out. You're probably gonna find that one leg is way better at this than the other. They will catch up with each other. Now see if you can feel like the muscles around your hip are starting to collect around the hip. You have some muscles around your hip that are really lazy. Certain muscles always turn on. They get overworked and unhappy, and then we stretch the heck out of them, which is the worst possible thing you could do for them. So what you need to do is get the ones that are less likely to turn on, the phasic muscles. You need to get them stronger, and you need to get them, more with it. You're more apt to join in when you need them. So that's one of the things that happens. The other thing is that the connective tissue, which you are tensioning right now, becomes stronger. It builds more tissue. This takes a long time, but you're giving it the stimulus it needs to create that. And it makes it more sensitive. So it's smarter and faster and more responsive, your nervous system is, to, unpredictable inputs, we call it, things that come at you suddenly. I've had so many people tell me that because of this type of practice, they were able to catch themselves when they were falling or they slipped or whatever. And they were able to catch themselves. So that is because your body's more responsive. So I could blather on for a lot longer, but I think we'll put our foot down now. You guys are happy to do that. And you'll notice that you actually recover from that very quickly because we're already ready to go to the other leg, okay? And you're like, right now? Seriously? Yeah, okay, so we're gonna be on our left leg again. Well, let's learn something really fundamental here, okay? So standing on our left leg, ground, dial out, get tall. Get tall through your core and lift up your right thigh. Right hand is going to come to right thigh. In fact, let's put left hand to the thigh as well. And now I want you to push down with your hands and push up with your leg. And see if that doesn't activate the front of your core. Yeah? You guys can nod if it doesn't unbalance you. Good. So now you're active in the front body. Hold that activity. Then take your hands, wrap it around just under the knee, and start to push your shin into your fingers, and then pull back with your fingers. Pull your shoulders back, and try to gather between your shoulder blades like we did with a couple postures earlier. Keep pushing the shin into your hands and pull back with your hands. You are activating your back body now. Breathe. Can you do this and breathe? Hey, if you have one finger to the wall, you're still able to do exactly this. No problem. Okay, let's release and put your foot down. Could you feel that a little bit in your standing foot? Excellent. You've given it stimulus to get stronger. Okay, now we'll do the right foot. So we stand on the right foot, unweight the left foot, dial out, get tall, draw up through your center, pick up your left thigh, hands to thigh. Push down into your thigh, push the thigh up into your hands. This is going to activate your front body. Your front body pushes. Let's lace the fingers. Now you're going to push the knee. So you're still pushing, so this is going to still keep you active in the front body. But now you're pulling with the hands. The back body becomes active because your back body pulls. Breathe. Stay tall on your hip, tall through your crown, steady in your breathing. And let's release the hands and put the foot down. Good. And shake that off. Very nice. Let's lift and spread the toes. Beautiful. All right, hands to heart center. Let's bend the knees and go into chair pose. So if you like, in your body, you can have your feet close together, but your knees apart. Yes. Okay, sink into your chair to whatever degree you want to sustain. And then we're just going to play around a little bit with some different feelings in the body. So first of all, make sure your toes are grounded. And then you're going to shift your knees over your toes as much as you can. I know that some people would say, oh, you can't put your knees over your toes. Don't ever do that. I promise you, you will be unscathed. So push your knees over your toes like you mean it. Where are you feeling this? Anybody want to offer? You guys are feeling your thighs? I don't feel it in my thighs. I feel it in my shins, in the front of my shins. That's where I'm getting it. Okay, but front of the legs, yeah? Okay, ease out of that. Start to reach back. Put weight into your heels if you need. Reach back with your tail. Reach back. Press into your feet. You don't want to lift your toes, okay? You want to keep your toes down. And you can press them down as well, but you're just sending your weight toward the back now. Reach back. Keep your heart lifted, though. Your tail back. Now, where are you guys feeling that? People are feeling their butts right now, just so we're clear. You know? So, yeah, you're feeling it in your butt. Okay, so good. Information. Okay, let's put the weight into the left foot, shall we? Pick up your right foot. Just having fun here. We're just having fun. And then the right foot goes down. Give yourself a moment. We're going to shift our weight. Dial that knee out. Otherwise, you won't be stable. And then pick up your left foot. Doesn't it feel good to contract your muscles strongly? Your brain, your nervous system, loves that. It's like, yes, I'm in control of this body. I know exactly where everything is. Okay, let's put the foot down. Widen your stance and sink. Try to keep your toes pointed forward as much as possible. Now, if you can go all the way down, Good for you. This is great. This is a health indicator. Tush down all the way and heels down. It's good. But we're not going to stay there. We're just going to come out a little bit. Press down into your feet, especially the great toes, and spread your knees out. And then I want you to squeeze your heels towards center while your knees are out. And you're intentionally going into engaged pelvic floor here. Lovely. Hands to the mat. Hop your feet back and lie in your belly. Let's just bring elbows under the shoulders for now. You can point your toes back. Okay, so even here, we're going to press down into our hands and energize through our hands like we're dialing them away from each other. Root your pubic bone, and I want you to see how much you can lift your navel away from the mat. Okay, you're going to have to posteriorly tilt your pelvis, so you're allowed to do that. Okay, so pressing into tops of feet, lifting the belly. Let's support that by squeezing the butt. Let's lift the heart. Dial the hands away from each other and start to pull the hands towards your body really strongly. See if you can actually drag your body forward a little bit on the mat. It's probably not going to be possible, but that's okay. We want to just imagine that we can. Excellent. Let go. Press into the tops of your feet. Keep your belly lifted. And then start to dial hands away from each other and start to push your hands forward. Pushing forward. Press into your feet. Once again, you're going to squeeze your seat. Lift your heart as best you can. Shoulders away from the ears. Yes. Lift through the crown. Beautiful. Elbows out. Peel your body onto the mat. Bend your knees. Swim your arms back, but don't catch your feet. Beautiful. Now start to lift the heart. Draw your shoulders back. Reach your hands toward your legs. And then pick up your thighs as best you can. Breathe. One more deep one. Excellent. We're going to bring the hands down. You can straighten the knees. Hands beside the chest. Press back, child's pose. Let's have forehead on the mat or on stacked hands or on a block if you prefer. And really go into a restful child's pose. Beautiful. Let's come forward onto our belly. Take your feet about the width of the mat. Slide your hands out so that they are sort of in a T position from your shoulders. So I mean like this. Okay. Excellent. Now, that's kind of our starting position. So listen carefully. Root your pubic bone. Lift up through the heart and lift the arms and the hands. Start to turn your thumbs up and reach your hands forward. And then come back, and as you come back, you're turning your thumbs down, and then you'll reach toward your feet. If you want at this point, you can also lift the legs. Make sure you're squeezing your seat. Inhale, thumbs come up and we reach forward. Exhale, swim back, thumbs down. Inhale, forward. And exhale, back. One more time. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, swim back. Okay, inhale, reaching forward, hold. And then just rest down. Forehead on stacked hands, or you can turn your cheek to the side, or whatever you need to do. Just feel into your back body, see if you can fully relax. So your low back muscles are postural muscles. They always turn on. They need the support from your front body, your shield, between pubic bone to breastbone shield. Okay? And they also need your glutes to squeeze. So make sure, because glutes are also phasic, you need to ask them to turn on and turn those on intentionally. So this next asana that we do, we want to think about the shield and the glutes, okay? All right. Simple. Arms reach forward. Squeeze your shoulders and pick up your arms. Squeeze your seat and lift up your feet. Think about pubic bone to breastbone. Squeeze your glutes. One more breath. And once again, we'll rest down. Now I'll give you an opportunity to really activate the front body. Bend your knees. Lift the heart, reach your hands back. This time, if you want, you can catch insteps or ankles, bringing great toes close together. Lift up through the heart, shoulders back, and then push your feet into your hands to let your thighs rise up. Pushing your feet into your hands will activate the front of your legs. You can also activate the glutes a little more strongly here. And then keep thinking about pubic bone to breastbone. Beautiful. We're going to let the thighs come down. Hands will come beside the chest. This time, once again, we'll move back into child's pose. And I do recommend putting forehead on stacked hands. We're going to take 3 rounds of Brahmari breath. Okay? So if you are unfamiliar, Brahmari breath is, again, the inhale and exhale through the nose. But on the exhale, we're making a bumblebee sound against the roof of the mouth. Tongue can be at the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. And there's no competition to make this as loud or as long as possible. So please just let it be a soothing vibration that you send through your body tissues. You've already increased electron flow, fluid flow, oxygen, nutrients through your body. And then now just send the soothing vibration along. So let's do it 3 rounds. Inhale, first of all, and exhale. Inhale. And just one more. Beautiful. Allow your body to just come up into a seated position. So you want to swing your legs out in front of you. You're going to take your blocks. If you want to put a block or a pillow under your sitting bones, that would be a good idea. I'll show you what we're going to do with these blocks, okay? We're going to put them under our knees. So there are other blocks. If you want those might be good. 1 or 2. Okay, so we have our knees bent and the blocks are just under the knees. Let's inhale and reach the arms up. So spreading fingers wide, thumbs are reaching back. Dig down into your heels, okay? Look, toes spread wide. You know your feet are active if your toes are spreading. If they can't spread anymore, we're going to work on that in a couple weeks. So dig down into your heels, spread your toes, reach your arms up high, and then reach back through your thumbs till, oh, you feel like you might tip over, okay? Right there. Lift up through your heart. Yes. You want this to be effortful, okay? Feeling into your back body. All right, we're gonna come forward, fall forward. This is basically just a little test. What do the legs feel like? And then we're gonna sit ourselves up a little bit, okay? So just take yourself just off of there. Okay, and now we're gonna pick up our heels. And you wanna make your knees as straight as you can, pulling your toes toward your knees. And the idea is make your knees straighter. And hey, if you're somebody who can hyperextend your knees, go ahead and hyperextend them right now, if you want. You can't hurt yourself here, but you will probably shortly start to shake if you're, doing this to your full effort. This is an area, the front of the knee is quite weak in people now because of all the sitting and driving we do. So you see a lot of anterior cruciate ligaments injured. This is very common, especially among young people, unfortunately, but all of us are prone to it. So strengthening that anterior aspect of the knee is super important for longevity. Because the truth is we're probably gonna live to 110 or something, and we don't wanna be incapacitated. We're here to live. All right, let's drop those heels, remove the blocks, shake it out. Inhale, find your strong back body. Exhale, fall forward. There is no need to have a pancake flat forward fold. Dig down into your heels. I advocate for drawing your legs into your body. So try to plug your legs into the pelvis rather than try to flatten out your body on your legs. Totally different aim there. Okay, great. We will ease up and out of that. Let's pull the right leg in. Sitting up nice and tall here. Take the right leg, step it across the left thigh. If you prefer to keep it on the same side, totally fine. You can wrap your left arm around the right leg and then reach back with your right hand. Now, if you feel this a lot right behind the pelvis, I would recommend you just take your right hip back a little bit further. Okay? Reach back with your right shoulder, reach back with your right hand, and then bring your hand down to the mat. So your fingers are tenting, and we're striving to sit as tall as we can here. That is because this is a really great opportunity for your spine. So spinal twists are really, really key. They help your intervertebral discs imbibe. That's how they get their nourishment, is by pulling in the moisture that you will naturally do when we're twisting. We're kind of compressing the discs. When we release, they suck in the moisture like a sponge would. Okay, so right now we're compressing, but staying as tall as we can. Breathing, letting the breath massage the vital organs. And then we'll bring the head around, let the body follow. Can you feel your intervertebral discs just soaking up? All right, let's pull the leg in, sit up nice and tall. Take the foot across. Again, if you have a hard time sitting up tall there, sit on a block or a cushion. Take your arm around. I always recommend pressing the leg into the arm. Take your left hand back, reach back first. We go there actively, and then fingers tense. So I would never pull my leg somewhere it doesn't want to go. I'm pushing out of the position. I'm not pulling into it, if you understand. Shoulder reaches back, and we really cycle the breath here. Like when you are in a spiral position, whether that's lying on the floor or sitting like this, such a wonderful opportunity to go into the breath, let it expand. This is really nourishing for the diaphragm. It really helps it maintain its full movement ability, and it massages your vital organs. And all of those organs in the gut need to be able to slide one along the other to be really healthy and to do their job effectively. Bring the head around, let the body follow, and straighten the legs. Wonderful. Well, no class would be complete without getting into our little boat. So let's move into Navasana. I saw that look, Parvas. I saw it. Sitting up nice and tall, heart lifted, shoulders back, great toe edges pressing into each other. If you're able to smile in this posture, you're a rock star. Good. One more deep breath. That's all. That's all we need. Maybe one more after that. Okay, final breath right here. All right, let's bring the feet down. We're gonna let them move forward, and then we're gonna spill our pelvis back and come down. Pulling knees into the body. Let your head rest on the mat. And then we'll plant the feet. Now, we'll just go into a simple bridge pose. If you can remember to do this at home, this would be fantastic. Like when I say at home, I mean like if you're, like to watch a show or something in the evening, then doing a couple of asana on the floor can be just really great for letting the nervous system down-regulate before sleep. So feet will be parallel here. They don't have to be hugged up close to your butt or anything. We're going to make sure our feet are parallel, so we ground down, and then we'll dial out. You'll notice that if you dial out through the feet and legs, that's going to make your pelvis want to lift up. So go ahead and lift your pelvis. Tuck your shoulder blades under your body. Keep dialing your feet and knees away from each other. And now start to push your feet toward the front of the mat, and that will really help you lift your pelvis up even more. Good. So it's tempting to lift your toes here. See if you can keep them grounding as you keep dialing them away from each other and pushing them forward. And breathe. Really good. All right, let's slowly peel ourselves down. Pull the knees into the chest. Let your body rock from side to side. Beautiful. Now we're going to once again plant the feet. So some of you are quite familiar with somatics breathing. So that's what we're going to do right now. If you're unfamiliar, we're going to do a lot of it, so don't worry. You'll hear the instructions over and over again. We're doing the arch and curl. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'll just say it, and then if you want to practice with me, that's fine, and then I will guide you through it for real. The reason I have to do it like this is because we're only doing it 3 times because we have to be super conscious when we do it. Okay, so we have to really, really pay attention. We can't let the mind wander. Okay, so how we do it is we begin with the inhale. When you inhale, you're going to let your spine go into an arch. Okay, your tail drops down, your shoulders fall back, and your chin tucks. So you're kind of doing this, if you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then you'll just let go to neutral. We'll just do this a couple rounds. Okay, once again, inhale and arch. Tuck your chin, drop your tail, drop your shoulders back, arch under the spine. Exhale just to neutral. One more time. Inhale and arch. And exhale just to neutral. Just let it go. Feel neutral. So Somatics is all about restoring sensory motor connection. So that's why we have to be super, super conscious, feel everything. The brain needs to feel it. Now we'll practice the exhalation, okay? So just take a regular inhale, but when you exhale, you're going to drain into the navel. So this is going to make your pubic bone pop up, your chest pop forward, and your chin come up. This is your exhale. Squeeze your belly, no problem. Okay, then inhale and just come back to neutral. Exhale and drain. So we call this the curl. So you're curling everything down into the navel, chin pops up. Inhale just back to neutral. One more practice for the exhale. Exhale, drain, 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 drain. And inhale to neutral. All right, just feel neutral for a moment. And we'll go into 3 rounds of arch and curl. Inhale and arch, exhale and curl. All right, let's do it. Inhale and arch. This is where you have the arch under the spine, your chin tucks, shoulders are back, tail is dropping. Exhale and drain. Your chin will pop up. Inhale and arch. Exhale and drain. You are super conscious. Feel, feel, feel. Inhale and arch. Exhale and drain. Now, when you inhale, just come back to neutral. And feel. Allow yourself to feel. And the brain is recording the sensation of neutral spine. Now, when you feel ready to, from here, you can just slide your heels forward for Shavasana. In Shavasana posture, it's nice to, be sufficiently warm and make sure that you have a quiet space, of course. Maybe tucking your shoulder blades under your body. And just allow the breath to guide you through the sensory experience into a deeper, relaxed, open state of being. I want to invite you to feel here, at least for a little while. Eventually your conscious mind will go into a resting state, and that's great. But just for a few breaths, allow yourself to feel first through the sensory experience, like what your receptors can feel, what your brain is perceiving. But notice there's something underneath that. There's something that feels more like just a vibration. And then through that vibration, there is also something else. Maybe it feels like space or light. And then just allow yourself to be lost in that. I'll call you back when it's time. Let's take some deeper breath. Allow your consciousness to just rest in the body for just another few breaths. And allow the conscious mind to lovingly speak to the subconscious mind / the body with loving encouragement and faith and trust. We're going to be bringing the invisible into the visible more and more as we practice longevity and deepen our understanding and connection between how the conscious mind affects the body and how the subconscious mind answers the call. So when you feel ready to, let's roll to the right side if you want, or you can come up in any way that feels best to you. But we'll all meet once again on our seats, sitting tall, hearts lifted, crown lifted. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Maybe a gentle smile for yourself. You can have eyes closed if you like. And just feeling content with your practice, proud of yourself for showing up on your mat and for applying yourself. And then let's put our voices together with the mantra Om and Shanti, 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 sending out a sincere wish, prayer, intention for peace, loving kindness, forgiveness, arising within each of us, spreading to those around us, and then to people everywhere. Let's begin with a nice deep breath in through the nose. Sigh out your mouth. Inhale to begin. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for practicing, everyone. Namaste. Namaste to your neighbors. Namaste. 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 Thanks so much, everyone. So I'm here for questions. Anybody has a question for me or something? Yes, you do?
I just want to make sure when you say breastbone is
The sternum is the breastbone. Yeah. Good question. Good question. I just assume everybody knows, so that's good. So the breastbone is the sternum between the breasts.
Can you show us how to get into the Chaturanga? How to start to learn to be able to move our bodies through it?
I mean, I can show you, but that is basically what we're doing when we are, we're doing all the prep for it. So everything from the table to the revving, to the lowering slowly, to the coming down, rising up, downward dog. Even here, when we go back and forth, you see how we're building shoulder strength and range of control. That's what it is. What happens in full chaturanga, dial the hands away from each other, really using the toes, looking forward, use the toes to send your heart out over your hands, dial out, look forward. I like to load and come forward. Some people don't do that. I do have a shoulder injury on my right shoulder, not from yoga, from something else stupid that I did. So some people don't do that. They press up from here like this. That's an option too, but I find preloading, so preloading, then I can flip my toes. Ah, this floor is a little slippery. But, you know, Chaturanga is not important. All the things you do to prepare for Chaturanga, that's important. All the shoulder mobility, the shoulder strengthening, developing range of control of the shoulder, that's important. That's what keeps you out of injury. That's what enables you to lift your carry-on in the overhead bin on the airplane. You know, Chaturanga is not important. Chaturanga is actually very hard on your biceps tendon and your shoulder labrum. So I think it's more important to do all the prep for Chaturanga than to do actual Chaturanga, personally. But I know in yoga, it's kind of it feels like a badge or an achievement or something, right? So if that sort of thing, you know, is important to you, or, you know, because it keeps you motivated, motivation is very important. So if it does that for you, then work incrementally toward building your tissue so that it can tolerate that. It's all about that. It's not like, you know, I've seen so many videos on Instagram saying, this is how I learned to do the splits, or this is how I learned to do Chaturanga. It's like the learning is not really about the alignment or the position. It's about building the tissue so it can tolerate that. So that's how you get there. And like I say, Chaturanga is not important, but all the steps toward it, those are pretty important. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You guys are welcome too. Till next time.